not only has Sony canceled their PlayStation experience that they've done the last few years during the month of December, they have now pulled out of E3.
They got nothing for us.
Nothing. Like, we're not just talking about, they can't even, forget the pretentious press conference.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, they're not even going to have booths there. They're pulling out completely from E3. What
does it mean, Steve?
What does it mean exactly? Oh, people have opinions. They're wrong, but people have opinions about what that means. Sony did officially announce why, but there's some. It's interesting as to why they say that they're not going to be in there. So here's what they say. As the industry evolves, Sony Interactive Entertainment continues to look for inventive opportunities to engage the community. PlayStation fans mean the world to us, and we always want to innovate, think differently, and experiment with new ways to delight gamers. As a result, we have decided not to participate in E3 in 2019. We are exploring new and familiar ways to engage our community in 2019 and can't wait to share our plans with you. This is a statement that they made to GameSpot.
Must have something planned then. I don't know.
So people are saying, like, well, are they going to go the Nintendo route and just do directs and, like, do pre-recorded stuff?
But doesn't Nintendo still do E3?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
This they do.
So weird.
And it's okay. So my opinion is on this is Sony is working on the next place on the PlayStation 5. Okay, they're in an interesting spot because right now the PlayStation 4 is still like it's typically the best-selling console every month when the sales numbers come out. It's almost always, with the exception of maybe 2 months, outsold the Xbox One. It's outselling the Switch, which is newer hardware. You think that would have more momentum behind it because PlayStation 5 has been out PlayStation 4 has been out for 5 years now. Yeah. So you'd think it would start to slow down, and it's not. So Sony doesn't want to undercut that by announcing new hardware like a PlayStation 5 coming out. They don't want to stop that momentum. But at the same time, I feel like they didn't quite plan for something like this. Like they basically had, God of War and Spider-Man lined up to be the PlayStation 4 games to talk about. And I think right now we only have Days Gone, Death Stranding. I'm thinking of Days Gone should be out before E3. Mm-hmm. So you're just left with Death Stranding, and I think maybe Ghosts of Tsushima is still going to be out, which was that really cool looking feudal Japan samurai game. But 2 games is not enough to make a press conference on. If Sony has taught us anything, you got to have at least 4. Mm-hmm. And draw it out. Yeah. But I'm glad that they're not going to do that this time. Maybe, hey, it could even be a response to whatever that was last year that they, or this past year, this past June, where they did the whole moving from room to room and everything was like super structured. And we talked about it and we thought, wow, they were really pretentious and I don't understand what Sony is thinking. It seems like they're getting too big for their britches again. Here and the main reason that I wanted to bring this up is because I don't know where people get this idea, but I have been hearing from industry analysts, whether you're just an armchair commentator or you work in the industry every day. Most people say E3 as a trade show is dying. And I'm here to tell you it's not going anywhere. Like, I honestly don't understand where these people get this idea. It may be because about 10 years ago or so, they really wanted to limit, I think they limited it to just a few thousand people that could attend. And they were all like, basically you had to be in the press. You had to work in the industry to get into E3. They weren't just having it so that anyone could go. And since then, the numbers have increased almost every year. And I actually have those numbers to prove the point. So, 2007, I think this is when they started to really limit it. 10,000 in attendance. 2008, 5,000. The next year, 41,000. 2010, 45,600. 2011, 46,800. Then 2012 drops down a bit to 45. 2013 goes up to 48. 2014, 2013 is 48. 2014 is 48. 2015, 52. 2016 drops down to 50. 2017, 68,400. And at 2017, that was the E3 that... No, never mind. That was the previous E3 was the one that Nintendo just did Zelda stuff. But do you see a pattern here? It's growing. Yeah. Okay? You have more in attendance almost every year. We've never seen a huge drop-off since they cut it back to that number. And now more people go to E3 than ever before.
Yeah.
So E3's not going to go anywhere. Like, I don't understand where this notion comes from. People say, like, well, we have the internet now. People can do what Nintendo does. What Nintendo does is fine. That's fine for Nintendo. Guess who still shows up to E3? Nintendo.
Yeah.
The internet stops for days while news just pours out of E3. So it's not going anywhere. Stop saying E3 is going anywhere. It's just this strange notion that if it is going somewhere, it's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just people being... it's just that trend of saying stuff, which most of the time it's kind of true, like that physical stuff is going out and it's all going to be digital. Like, people say stuff about like how malls are going to be obsolete and stuff.
Well,
I feel like it's that kind of same kind of train of thought.
And I don't necessarily believe that physical games will go out, at least because they keep pushing it back.
Right.
They keep saying,
well, see, that's another... Yeah.
It won't be the next console generation, but the one after that. That's going to be the next one.
Yeah, that's another good example, too, of the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where it comes from. I don't know, the whole...
It's like climate change. It never happens. It never comes true.
Yeah.
I just keep pushing your predictions out there. You're never technically wrong. But, yeah. E3, it's not going anywhere. Whatever Sony is planning on doing... because
it's interesting.
What I immediately thought was like, okay, well, they're also not doing the PlayStation experience, so they must have nothing worth our time.
I mean, good on them. If you don't have anything to say,
I'd rather them not waste my time.
Yeah.
So, should you be concerned if you're a PlayStation fan? I would not be concerned. They have stuff in the works. You've got third-party support.
Yeah.
We'll be fine until the PlayStation 5 eventually shows up.